Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 touring Australia. We're in the Prado hospital, and I just thought I'd do a video on the Arb compressor, whether you call it installation, removal, fit up. A lot of people have asked questions, how did you do this, how did you do that? I thought we did a video, maybe on our mechanical channel 4x4 diesel, but I thought we did a video on a lot of all the electrical and how we installed things. Okay, so we've got the Arb compressor, the very common one, what is it, CKMA 1224, something like that anyway, right, on the KAON bracket. See, this is a stainless steel KAON bracket. The Arb compressor's sort of really universal or adjustable. You can see, I'll just show you the adjustment. See the blue section? That clamps over the black section. See the blue here? Right, there's an adjustment on it somewhere. I think is it around this side? Anyway, hard to see. You'll see when you've got your new compressor. And you can actually slide, if you look at the body up here, see how far I've got it slid this way? So it's actually slid a fair way back out of the way. So that's the first bite. KAON.com.au for the compressor mount bracket on the 150 Prados here. Just take the top part of your airbox off if you can to get it out of the way. You mount the compressor to the bracket, and then it's 3 bolts that are already on the body there. You can see the nuts there, those shiny gold sort of looking nuts down there, supplied with the KAON bracket. And that's a really solid mounted compressor. It isn't going anywhere. It's in a really good spot, up away from dust and water and all that sort of thing. Switch is right here, which is handy because I always have the problem where I sort of you go back, like I don't, you come out, you pop your bonnet, and I didn't switch it on. So the switch is out here. It makes sense. We do put a little rubber boot over it because I'm not sure about how long things will last out in the weather if you're washing the engine bay down every now and then, that sort of thing. A cap over here is probably a good idea as well. We like to keep that clean. But look, that's where the compressor mounts. Now the wiring, when you get the wiring loom out, this Arb compressor bracket, the Arb compressor wiring, sorry, it's not the Arb compressor bracket. See, I'm always spitting out the wrong words. It looks like, it looks complicated, but let's simplify it a little bit. Basically, look, if you're not using the lockers, then they're your plugs for your lockers for reference. There's your colors right there. Obviously the big main cables are the ones that plug into the compressor. The little red and blue plug into the pressure switch just there. You've got a relay which we mounted just there with a 10mm that's already in the body, right? So there's the relay. There's some wires that you need to get a power source, so they go through that little grommet there with a corrugated split tubing, nice and neat. And we just go into the fuse panel in the vehicle there, and you use one of those little fuse jump things, you take the original fuse out, plug that in, put the original fuse in, and it's got an extra fuse in it for whatever you want to hook up. And we actually hooked up to that. We ran the DC-DC charger without the blue wire connected for a while, and then we ran it with it connected for a while. So we did trial different setups. We're not going to talk about that too much in this video. That'll be in another video. Could be on either channel, so subscribe, turn the bell on both. But the wire, it went in, and basically what we did, we just joined those 2 wires together because one's to illuminate the switch and one's to power the switch. And I figured, well, I don't need illumination until I'm gonna, it goes hand in hand. So the engine starts, the light comes on, it's always on sort of thing, and the switch is available anytime the engine is running, because I don't want to run the compressor unless the engine's running, because it does draw, really, it's a heavy draw on the battery. It's going hard. It's always best, it'll work quicker. It's better for your battery if the engine's running when you're running these compressors. You can get the double pumper if you like. It's just bigger and heavier. It's hard to fit in places. I like it under the engine bay, tucked neat, out of the way, not taking up any space in the car. And the other big bonus is close as possible to the battery. Now you can see our accessory battery here. That'd be good to just connect it to there. But a couple of things, maybe we'd cut the wiring loom short. You can't cut it too short. That's in the instructions. Worry about that then. But I like to go direct to the cranking battery because that gets the best charge. So literally all we did, you can see we had the fuse was actually tucked in there between the body and the battery. Really awesome spot. You could access it. You could just pop it out easily, but it never moved or came out. It's been sitting in there for pretty close to 60,000 K, something like 50 or 60. A lot of outback corrugated dirt roads. This gear has been tested, not only in this vehicle, but in other vehicles and everyone else's. Very popular compressors, and they're now very popular brackets. And this is a good way to do your wiring. So corrugated split tubing, we literally ran that down around behind the washer bottle here. It followed this wiring loom here. It was literally sitting here under there. I didn't worry about zip tying. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It's well protected in this heavy duty split corrugated tubing until it came to this end here where we taped that. We joined these 2 together. There's a little black wire. That's your your negative, right, and your positive direct to the battery. It's a perfect length, guys. That's why we do it. We did this with our compressor in the 120. It's the battery obviously is over that side in the ARB tray. The ARB compressor's here, and the wiring loom was long enough to get across to that side. So this time we thought, oh, it's going to be a stretch, but it actually works out absolutely perfect to mount the compressor there on the KAON bracket, run your wiring around there nice and neatly, well protected to your battery. We had some zip ties on here holding the wiring, and it was just secure as anything. You can see, do some decent connections. They don't come out. Well and truly tested. Anyway, just a quick video, guys, to show you. Hopefully that answers some of your questions. If I can, I'll go into the vehicle and I'll show you which fuse connection we used, show you a bit more detail on that. It might be hard to do though, so remember to press like for me trying, because otherwise I could call it a video now. So I'm going to go in there now and try and do that for you. So down we go, down under the dash here. There's your accelerator pedal. Like I said, this is going to be a bit difficult. Got a couple of lights set up. Now, you can see it looks like that one at the back there, right? So if you look, this is on a 1GD 2019. It's not the one furthest to the back. I'm actually going to pull it out to show you which one's empty. Well, I'm going to try. There you go, there it is, right? I'm just going to get that out of the way. Hopefully, try to, before it causes any problems. Okay. It is the second one from the back, right? I can't tell you. The cover I've taken off. It's in the console, of course, for reference. But it would have been a 10. See the ones in the back of the... Hang on, let me just get this right. No, it might have been a 15. I'd say by the look of the factory 15s, yeah, it would have been a 15. Second one in, next to the little brown 7.5, okay? Back corner there, I'm going to try and hold the camera still. Right about the middle of the picture now, see there's an empty space there. That's where this goes, right? So what do we got here? I'll just try and get this out. I'm trying to do it one-handed, right? So we route everything neat and tidy. So a little bit time-consuming to get in and out. So basically what we got here, there's our little, if I can get it in the picture, there's our little, that's what I'm talking about, all right? So all we have to do to return it to original condition now is pop that blue fuse out, back into that slot up there, and you're in business. From memory, that was accessory power of some sort. You can see here we've used only a solder joint and a quality heat shrink. We don't muck around. Now you're going to look up there and look at that Scotch lock. That's because it was the reason for that is obviously soldering would be awesome, but this was a possibility that it wasn't going to be permanent. It was more of a test situation. And then I thought about it. I went, hang on a minute. Well, so the blue wire, that's from the DC, because we connected all at the same time. I went, while I'm wiring up the compressor power, I will connect the blue wire and see what happens as more of a temporary thing. So I hooked that up, and then I went, well, now I'm going to hook up the compressor. So what I'll do for now, I'll Scotch lock that on. People hate these, right? They absolutely hate them. And look, if you don't use them properly, they're not that good, but there's a way to use them and clip them shut and make sure they work. And you can see here, this has been shaken around on corrugations for thousands of kilometers of dirt road. If you've been watching our channel, you know where we've been. It's not going to go anywhere. If you want, you can even put a tape around it. If you can get a soldering iron up on there and you want to solder it, go for it. But I don't have a problem with these. I'm not recommending them. Usually the worst... You don't use it on high current draw. This just needs a bit of power to light up the switch type thing. And it's more of a, again, it's a test. We like to do these things to see how well it works. If you're wondering, we'll go through a few of the other ones quickly while we're here. This sort of big fat one here, all right? That's the one that goes from the battery to the back of the vehicle. So it goes up. I don't know if you can see it anywhere up there, but it goes, it's up there somewhere. There it is. So you can see the corrugated split tubing over the hump, over to the other side, along the kick trims to the back trim. And the other one that comes in up further, right, up here, we took that through. That is the power for the two USBs. See that loom right there? Right, that's all our wires, big, decent sort of wires, because we want decent charging for our we've got one USB there, and we've got these twin USBs there, right? So, but, bada bing. So I've shown you all the wiring. Hope you understand all that. That's the fuse little thingy connector, Duvalaki thingy-majig that we use to connect there. I know we were talking about the compressor, but I'll give you the conclusion. You certainly don't need the blue wire on a 1GD FTV, and I don't believe you need it on a 1KD. And to be quite honest, this is the first DC charger I've ever owned, and you don't need one of those either. That's going to be more information in another video. Subscribe, turn the bell on. This was more the compressor wiring, where it all goes, what we used. I hope that's been helpful for you. KAON.com.au for the bracket, ARB for the compressor. They're really reliable. Lots of people use them. It's one of those things like the BFGs and all the most popular suspensions that people use, the good brands that don't have problems. I really highly recommend the ARB compressor. Guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, reminder, thumbs up, bell on, bada bing, bada boom, we're out of here. See ya.